The Lime-Flavored Network, the tastiest netcasts online. Limelight on Apple is brought to you by Tricia's Bakery at triciasbakery.com. Welcome to Limelight on Apple, episode 3, being recorded and broadcast live on the 6th of March, 2013. I am DJ Allen.
And I am Tricia Allen.
And as you can surmise by our last names, we are married. We are not brother and sister.
That is correct.
Yes, yes. I do know your brother, though, so it's... And he does not have the same last name as me, either.
No. Me neither anymore.
Okay, well, we're here to talk about Apple and things that revolve around Apple because, well, I'm an Apple nut, and I've convinced you that Apple is the greatest operating computer system on the planet, and we're going to convert the masses.
That is incorrect. You have not. No. I am still a Windows fan when it comes to computers.
Yeah.
Everything else, however, could have an Apple operating system on it, and I'd be fine with that.
I'll break you down.
Right.
I'd like to note for those of you watching the video, so if you're just listening to the audio, you're not going to see this, but if you're watching the video, I have my familiar green background, and instead of you having a slightly less green background tonight, you have a yellow background, so we're like Green Lantern and Sinestro.
I guess it does kind of look yellow.
Yeah, well, with the way the lighting shows up. All right, enough of this witty banter. Let's get to some serious business. We want to start off with your lead story.
My lead story. Okay, let me find my lead story.
All right, let me click on you so it stays up there. There we go.
Oops.
Hi.
Hi. I obviously did something wrong. Well, my lead story is on the recent iPhone problem with the lock screen.
Okay.
I guess I haven't tried to, and I'm sure you haven't either, tried to bypass the lock screen on either of our phones, but there's a problem where you can bypass the lock screen on an iPhone in iOS 6.1, and it allows you to get into the phone's contacts, check the voicemail, and you can look through photos if you're trying to add a photo to a contact.
Your screen that I see is the Chrome with my pretty face on it, so basically they're seeing me in stereo.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. Sorry.
I figured I'd let you know so that, you weren't trying to show us something on a web page and all they can see is me doing
I can hold up my iPad instead.
Yeah. So yes, the lock the lock screens.
Right. Yeah. So there's a problem with the lock screen. They've come out with a fix. It hasn't come out yet. It's in beta testing right now. But I guess the thing that makes it interesting to me now is that the Galaxy S3 also has a similar problem where the lock screen can be bypassed and you can actually get into apparently everything on the phone. So I guess oh, you had something to add?
Well, what I was going to say is that, I mean, if this is like a business situation, I could understand where this might be a problem. But for me, for instance, and you, well, you're also a likely target with where how you operate with your phone. But but for me, my phone never leaves my person, so I don't. I just have the slide to unlock on my iPhone, so I don't even need to worry about this bypass thing because it doesn't affect me at all.
That is true. I also always have my phone on me and don't even have a lock code. So, yeah, I guess, well, not all the news is going to affect us personally, is it?
No, but I mean, and like I said, it's understandable if they have business involvement and whatnot. But yeah, the shows that we watch that talk about this type of thing go on and on about it, and I think it's kind of ridiculous because, well, it doesn't affect me at all.
It must be a problem for the people who get drunk and leave their phone in bars.
Yeah, I still would have that in my pocket. Of course, I haven't gotten drunk in a while either, so
The farthest my phone ever gets away from me is when I forget it in the car when I come in at night.
which has happened several times in the last
It
couple of
God,
weeks.
that happens constantly, but I put it in that little nook in the dash, and then I completely forget about it.
That happens.
But the phone has to come with me to get me into the parking garage for work, and it obviously has to be at work all day since it's my only phone. So I keep track of it pretty good.
Don't you
Plus,
yawn.
it's my entire wallet.
Yes. For those watching the video, we both have the. I don't want my driver's license online, but I mean, I got credit cards and stuff in here because it's a little thing. She's got a more elaborate one because she's got. Well, this is her old one because this is for an iPhone 4 or 4S. And let me pop her up here. She's got the purple one there with credit cards and the phone
Yep,
and
I have credit cards on one side and the money slot. It's pretty much like yours.
yeah, it's just
And
taller for the iPhone 5. And where do you keep your driver's license at?
I keep it actually behind this flap right here where I put the cash
Okay.
because I can't even tell you the last time I had to take my driver's license out for any reason.
Well, yeah. I
Oh
guess I
no,
have.
no wait, it was when I had a cold and I had to buy I bought Mucinex or some sort of cold medication, and they actually, and I don't know how many other states do this, but here, when you buy something with like the pseudoephedrine in it, they scan your driver's license to make sure that you're not buying it to make meth, because that's a problem in North Dakota.
We have far too many teeth to look like meth users. We could be making it, of course, but we don't because we don't have that kind of time. First off, and
Or skill,
well, the skill part too, but
or need.
or need. But the biggest part of that equation is the time.
It's great to know that you feel we don't make meth because we don't have the time.
Oh, it's like at my job when people ask me, "Well, you could steal stuff," and and I have to stop them and say, "Okay, let's pretend for a second that I can get away with it," which I can't. But let's pretend that I can get away with it. I have no idea where to sell the crap that you're telling me I could steal because I don't have the criminal connections. I am a mailman who delivers the mail. I don't know Vinny down the street who hawks stereos and jewelry and Play-Doh. I just don't know these people, and I don't know how to get a hold of them, and I don't care to because I don't want to steal anything.
Well, technically, in our neighborhood, you could probably just walk down the street and get a hold of them, but that's not the point.
Dun dun dun. Oh, all right. Is that all you got for lock screens?
Um, well, yeah, the only other little haha pun I was gonna throw in there was that now that the Galaxy S3 also has the unlock screen problem, it's just another thing that they're copying from Apple.
I actually think there's a sound effect for that.
Oh my.
Let's see here. Where's oh wait, here, ready?
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Guess I should have rehearsed that with you a little bit better.
Well, I didn't know about it. All right. That's enough of that. On to the next story, which I don't have up, but I want to. Well, I'll let you bring it up on the screen share.
Really? Are you sure you want me to do that?
I'd like you to try.
Okay, well, you know what the problem is? It moves as soon as I hit the right screen.
Oh.
How
Okay.
about that? Does that look right?
Yes.
Okay.
I want you to all look at the headline. For those that can see the video, for those that cannot see the video, the headline says, Apple Maps leads the way in navigation. I want that to sink in for a second, all them Apple Maps haters.
But you know that this story is just based on the personal opinion of 3 people using it.
Yes, yes. But it was nice to see that not everybody, me included here, I have a Google Maps app on my iPhone. Do you have it on yours?
Yeah, I do, in fact, because I use it.
Okay. I have used Google Maps exactly once. The rest of the time I use Apple Maps. I mean, nothing. The story here, the example is 3 or 4 people are going to the same location from different directions or whatever, and they're all using a different program. And the guy using Apple Maps got there the quickest. And the writer of the article wasn't.
I believe it was Google Maps versus Apple Maps versus Waze.
Yes, yes. The guy writing the article is John C. Dvorak, which we watch on twit.tv on some of their shows. He's on every once in a while with Leo Laporte, who was also written about in this article. Anyway, there was basically a let's all use a different program and see how this works out. Leo, who used Waze, got lost a couple of times, got a couple of misdirections, and ended up having to, find his way back from wherever he got lost from. Glenn, the other guy, I guess used Google Maps and got, if not one, he got 2 misdirections. But his example of where they were all going to the Apple headquarters. And where Apple headquarters was, as you showed me on a picture, looked like an alley with like dumpsters and stuff in it.
I believe actually that was the I think that was the Apple Maps.
Oh, that's the Apple Maps.
No, wait. Google Maps on the computer shows the correct portal. Here is the location at Apple headquarters shown by the phone. Okay, so right, the picture shown on the phone, street view, is an alley with a bunch of dumpsters.
Okay, yeah, and then John C. Dvorak, who used Apple Maps. Wait, did he? No. He used Google Maps, and the other guy used Apple Maps, and the guy using Apple Maps got there first because he got correct information. Now, I understand that Apple Maps has had its issues. There's some things that are wrong. The 3D doesn't work quite as well. I mean, they just started using this, but in North Dakota, I have had 0 problems. I have driven, I want to say 300 miles going to and from this location where I kind of know where it's at, but I used Apple Maps to get there, and I didn't drive into a ditch. I wasn't swimming next to ducks. I didn't have any problems. It got me there, got me back, no problem. So Apple Maps is not that bad, and I wanted to make.
I would like to, because here we don't really have a big need to use the maps, although it would help you if you're delivering somewhere that you haven't been before, of course. But for me, traveling to and from work is very close to home. I don't have to find places. I'm very interested to give these a try when we are out of state. I know that when we were in Buffalo, New York last August, I used Google Maps quite a bit, I don't think Apple Maps existed yet because I think I even had my iPhone 4 still at that point. Yeah, in fact, I did, because I remember having my other purple case that everyone was amazed by. Um, anyways, I used Google Maps because I was out walking and exploring somewhere I've obviously never been. So I'm excited to use it again in the future when we're out of state.
And it'll be interesting to see, now that we have a show that talks about this, we can also do a comparison and a review.
Yeah, right. So when we're in Washington D.C., you can use Google Maps and I can use Apple Maps or vice versa. And of course, Waze, like they talked about, I've actually downloaded and installed Waze, but again, for us here, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't need a whole lot of directions, but I'm racking up the miles and gaining points on it. So I guess at this point, it's more like a game.
That's good. I haven't even opened Waze yet, although I have it. You may have opened it on my phone, but I haven't opened.
I'm not sure, but I guess the thing that I kind of don't like about it is that it only counts when you have the phone open and actively on that program, because I always forget to open it.
Right. Okay. Well, what's next on your list there?
Let's see. Next on my list, I will find it.
Tonight's a big update for Apple. I got 6 apps that need to be updated. Holy buckets.
Okay. Can you see the story?
Yes.
Okay. So my next story that I kind of wanted to talk about is that I guess the Senate is trying to make unlocking cell phones legal. I guess the way it stands right now is if you've got your phone from a certain carrier, you basically can't move it to another cell phone provider. And I've heard different reports from people. Some people can get their phones unlocked from their carriers. Others can't. I guess for us, I don't know if it's going to be a big benefit or not for us, because we have 2 basic carriers in our area, Verizon and AT&T, and so far their phones aren't compatible. But in the future, they might be. You have a guest co-host there?
I do. I have a guest dog.
What does he think about cell phone unlocking?
Well, he's wondering where you're at, and and he's complaining. And when I picked him up, he kind of squished like a whoopee cushion.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, she's up there, puppy. Okay. So. Yes, it would be nice to have them unlockable in case we ever would go anywhere else. Again, this is one of those stories that, we're not in a situation to where it, does much for us at this point, but it would be nice to take our iPhones to different carriers. There's no reason they need to be branded because it's an iPhone.
I know that some of the argument that the cell phone carriers provide is, these phones are subsidized by us, and we don't want to allow the software to be unlocked and just put out there to do whatever you want with. That's kind of their problem. But on the other hand, then what happens with us? We buy our phones outright. We don't get subsidized phones because in our case, I want to keep our unlimited data. So I pay full price for my phone. So I own it. And yet still they want to say, I own the hardware, but I don't own the software.
And yeah, and us being, I'm positive we're not the only ones in that situation. So yeah, why are we all made to suffer for the ills of a few? And I don't understand why. I understand why they're locked, because they've got the frequency issues, because there's so many frequencies, and Verizon has a certain range, and AT&T has a certain range, and Sprint has a certain range. But there's new phones coming out, which would make it good for them to eliminate the unlocking issue, because these new phones are going to be able to cover all the ranges without needing to be branded.
If they were all on the same frequency, it would probably help quite a bit for supply issues, supply and demand when a new phone comes out. I mean, you know, if Apple produces an iPhone and they run out of stock on a Sprint carrier version of the phone, then they can just, you know, grab the Verizon one because they're all the same.
It's true. But, yeah, I don't know.
I just don't get it. I mean, it's kind of the same with jailbreaking. I think the name implies illegal, and I guess I would consider trying to jailbreak my phone. I'm scared to do it on the phone I currently use, of course, but I'd definitely give it a try on my old iPhone 4.
If it was a brand new phone and I hadn't had all my information on it and I wanted to give it a shot, I would be willing to do it. I don't have a need to have it done for any reason, though. I'm in the ecosystem. I want the safe apps. I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm going to be needing some sort of extra security or worrying about some weird hack that give the whole point of getting into and jailbreaking these phones is that there are weaknesses in the OS. So the fact that there's weaknesses in the OS is why you can jailbreak these things.
Well, it allows you to install programs on it that aren't necessarily approved by the App Store through Apple.
Right.
As one of the features. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that jailbreaking does. I know I've seen videos and articles on the fact that you can practically run your entire phone from the lock screen without unlocking it, and you can put different options into your what's that thing called? The thing you pull down from the top.
The notification
center. Yeah. I so rarely use it. I'm sure it's useful to somebody, but I forget about it constantly. There are two things that I would like to have my phone jailbroken for. Two programs. One is something that I used a long time ago. It was basically, it allowed me to tether my phone to my laptop and run my laptop off of the phone like Wi-Fi. And I could do that with my Android phone because you could install the software on it. But that program is not allowed by Apple into their App Store. And gee, I wonder why. The other one is something I just found today. I was actually, I don't remember what I was looking for, but I ran across a story about an app that you can put on your iPhone that gives you your iMessages on your PC. So it would be like the way that you have your computer, you can use iMessages on your computer. And, you know, I can't because I'm on a PC. But there is a program that you can run on your PC that basically lets you run iMessage on it. And I guess I would love that because then I'd have a keyboard. Well, while I'm at work at least.
It's nice to have when you message. I can, if my iPad's close, which it never is, I can answer on that. I can answer on my iPhone, but more than likely, if I'm at home, I'll answer on the computer because it's simple and easy, and I get the keyboard to use, so it's nicer.
I guess I find for myself, since I use my phone 99% of the time, I don't often use my iPad to message back. But with my phone, I use the voice dictation, and I think that's even easier than typing.
I have such aggravating issues with Siri so often that I speak to my phone as little as possible because and it's not, they're not continuous, but they happen often enough to where I'll flip out. I've flipped out on Siri before. I've had Siri ask me what's wrong because I've told Siri to go F itself. because I would say this, like call you. I would use your name, call you, and I would say it 4 or 5 or 6 times, and Siri would do nothing. And then I would say, tell Siri where to go with herself, and of course that's the question she answers.
Maybe it'll be better when you get a new phone.
Yeah,
Maybe it'll be better when you're on 4G service instead of 3G service. Who
that
knows?
that would be spectacular. I can't wait to be on 4G.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
All right. Well, speaking of pretty nice, it's a good segue. I'm going to screen share here for you. So we're going to make sure I'm stuck up here. And I've got my... Why is my... No, I want that screen shared.
Well, now you can understand why I was having so many problems.
No, I can't. It can't be minimized. That's the issue. So here we go. All right. So you should be seeing. Oh, whoops. That's not it. Don't look at that. Whoops. I am totally not sharing the right stuff here. Oh boy. Well, I guess I'm going to be doing this.
Do you want me to?
Oh, I got it. Here we go. Got the headline there?
Yes.
All right. Apple is beating Samsung. Well, it's gaining ground in Samsung. There's this ComScore company, I guess is what they are. They keep track of the market share for Android and iOS, and then iPhone, and then other phones. And it shows in this chart, which should be here in the center with the red and the blue line, that actually it looks like I can click on it. It shows that the iPhone has gained share over. Well, this shows Android specifically, but it should. Why does it say Samsung? Apple's iPhone moved ahead of Samsung and gained ground on Google's Android in the U.S. market during the 3-month period that ended in January. The charts below here show like different types of phone users, and the iPhone's gaining more of the smartphone market. So while Samsung in this reporting period has, let's see here. In this reporting period, Samsung only has 21.4%. So the actual Samsung brand is doing much less than Apple, which has 37.8%. The Android operating system, I guess, is what the article is what grabbed my attention, because Google, who owns Android, has 52.3% share, which is down 1.3% from the last 3-month period. And Apple has gained 3.5% to come up to 37.8%. Proving, at least in my mind, that Apple is it's giving people what they want. I mean, there's sure that you've got your tinkerers and you've got you've got the people that want things complicated, and then you've got the rest of us who just want the stupid thing to work. Because I'm too old to fight with my phone, and that's all I did with the Android phone was fight with it.
I think it's interesting that Android, at any given point in time, seems like the different companies come out with new phones on a monthly basis. So there's probably got to be, 20, 30 different Android operating system phones to choose from at any given time. And I guess with Apple, it's getting a little bit, they do have a few more out there to choose from. I don't know if something like AT&T still sells the 3 or the 3G. I don't even know what it was called. Verizon that we're on didn't even carry it. So
3GS,
Verizon.
you mean?
Okay, maybe that's it. Yeah, 3GS. So Verizon at this point probably offers the iPhone 4, the 4S, and the 5. So those are basically 3 different phones available, while of course each one can have 3 to 4 different options of memory, which isn't necessarily a different phone. I don't consider each version of memory a different phone. I guess I look at the 4, 4S, and 5 as 3 different phones in general. So Apple has 3 different phones out there compared to probably 30 Android phones.
I would consider the iPhone, even all the different versions, just the one phone because they're all iterations of the same phone. So in
So you mean you're saying like 4, 4S, and 5 you would consider
one phone, yeah, one model. Well, not model, one
I,
phone.
at the least, I would consider maybe the 4 and 4S one phone, and then the 5 a different one.
Okay.
I mean, especially because the 5 works with 4G, and the 4 and the 4S don't. Plus, they're different sizes. So I guess I would say that at least 2 different phones.
Okay. Well, I mean, and then yeah, then your comparison, which is where I would have gone, is it's the iPhone, the 3 different versions of iPhone battling 30 to 35 different versions of the Android phone. So the Android users get to go, well, look, there's so much more Android market share. Well, yeah, it's because you've got 70,000 devices on the market as an option, whereas we have 3. So yeah, we're knocking you out with our 3. So chew on that.
Yeah, I think iPhones need to stick with one a year and not worry about looking like an Android with coming out with new phones constantly.
Absolutely. Speaking of new phones coming out,
Okay, let's see if I can screen share.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, speaking of new phones coming out, there are, of course, rumors of a new iPhone 5, which a lot of people are calling an iPhone 5S.
And I think they're just using the S because of the previous iteration. I honestly believe it's going to have a letter, but I don't think it's going to be an S, personally.
Right, well, I didn't even know what the S stood for the longest time on the 4. And if it stands for Siri, that doesn't make a lot of sense for an iPhone 5S.
Right.
But yeah, there's the possibility of the new iPhone coming out as early as June or July at this point. Last year, the iPhone 5 came out. Let's see. I would have gotten mine in September. No, I got mine in October, right at the beginning of October. But the pre-orders came out in September of 2012. So they're expecting a new iPhone to come out in June or July, which is less than a year.
And I'm excited because it's my upgrade time. And I had, when you had the 4 and I had the 4S for the first time in our relationship, I'm pretty sure that's the first time I had a better phone than you, that little stint until you got your iPhone 5.
Well, that's only because I research phones before I buy them, and you just buy whatever's shiny and then get what I discover works later.
Not anymore. I'm Apple all the way now. It's great. So until Apple really starts crapping the bed, I think I'll be getting the iPhone from here until infinity.
I completely expect to stick with iPhones as well. I don't know. It's going to take a lot to get me to go off of an iPhone.
Good answer.
Well, I like my iPhone. I mean, when you go to get your iPhone 5 and they ask you if you want to trade in your iPhone 4 and you say there's no way in hell I'm giving you my old phone, that says something.
Absolutely.
So, okay. What?
Go ahead.
With the iPhone 5 coming out, I couldn't find a lot of information on this, but they're talking about it also having a fingerprint chip under the home button, which I find odd. I mean, whatever. it's no big deal to me, but then again, we've already said we're the people who don't even have lock codes on our phones.
Yeah.
But they're also talking about iOS 7 coming out this June, and then the phone possibly coming out in July. Let's see what else is in this article.
Let me hop in here for a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna be away from the keyboard and the camera for a few minutes. So run your story, run an ad, and then run your app if I'm not back in time, because someone's got to get taken care of here.
Oh my God! Again. Okay, well, anyways, yeah, iPhone 5S. It's talking about coming out with a faster chip in it for processing, an A7 chip. There's also information that I found in this article that talks about a low-cost iPhone 5 coming out. Instead of the phone being encased in metal, it's going to come out in plastic and fiberglass, and the article that I found talks about 6 colors. It doesn't list colors for the iPhone low-cost model, but obviously it's more than black and white. What 6 colors do you think the low-cost iPhone 5 will come out in?
Green? No, hold on. Black? Wait, other than black and white?
Well, black and white plus 4 colors.
Okay, so black, white, silver.
Oh, that's so... They're going to do that, and that's such a waste.
I'm going to say red, maybe a blue. And other than the blue, I really hope for a green, but it's probably going to be like a pink or a yellow.
See, if I think about the iPhone or the iPod Touch, I think there was like pink and blue and green, black, white.
And our Nanos came in multiple colors. Mine's green. Yours somewhere around here is orange.
It's down here.
Oh, that's right.
Attached to our book reading device. So
yes. Yeah,
it was orange. I like the idea of colored phones, but then I need to get a clear case because I would still want a case. I don't understand why they want to come out with a low cost iPhone 5.
It's for China.
It is specifically?
Yes. I don't know if we're going to have a shot at it or not, but they're definitely doing it because of China, because the Chinese are not going to pay the equivalent of $700 for a phone. Okay.
Yeah, I know that they've got the unlocked price listed here for the iPhone 5S, or whatever the new one is, at $600 to $700, and the low-cost one at $350 to $450. It does give... Those are U.S. prices, so that makes me think that the low-cost version would be here. And then under a 2-year contract price in the U.S., they list the new iPhone 5S starting at $199 and the low cost being $0.
It's possible that they're just using the U.S. dollars currency as the comparison. Speaking of money, who pays the bills?
Okay, well, I guess this is where I get to do my own ad for myself on half of my own podcast. So yeah, I guess the sponsor of our podcast, as well as most of DJ's other podcasts, is my business, Tricia's Bakery. North Dakota made products for people and pets. I'm online at triciasbakery.com, and I also have a store locally in Bismarck, North Dakota, where we live. I sell North Dakota made products made by myself, as well as about 30 other different businesses. So I have pet products, I have people products, I have some local food, I have crocheted hats, clothing, tie-dye, pet treats, coats, collars, bandanas. I kind of sell a little bit of everything. The end. I covered it just long enough for you to get back here.
Well, he was waiting to come in when I got there, and He's currently chowing down on the extra chunk of cooked dough that was the end of the pizza treats. So,
Yeah, speaking of Tricia's Bakery, he's kind of my bakery, so it should really be called DJ's Bakery at this point.
yeah, I'm the hard working production end of this situation.
He had to take over production about 2.5 years ago, because I crochet hats and that's taken over all my time. Like, for example, last year from January 1st to December 31st, I made 960 some crocheted hats, and I have well under 100 left from the end of the year. So that's where all my time goes.
And here's to 1,200 this year.
Oh, no. Right now, for this year, I believe I'm almost at 70. So I am not on track to hit a very high number. Although I can't say what I was at last year at this time because I didn't date my spreadsheet as well as I'm dating it this year. But towards the end of the year, I know it'll ramp up.
With any luck. And with that, we're going to
Always
move
winter
into the
here.
next phase, and I am going to start the next phase by bringing up that webpage you weren't supposed to look at earlier. For my app pick of the week, last week I did the Comixology app. The week before that I did Downcast. Two things that I use often, and this one I found by basically by accident, and I've been playing with it quite a bit. It's a wrestling belt. It's called Wrestling Belt Creator, and it creates images. Hopefully I'm on the screen here. It
Yep, I
creates
can see
images.
it.
Okay, of wrestling belts, and there's different combinations of things you can create. So there's you've got, and let's see here. Here's some example belts. You can color the plate in. You've got side plates. You've got smaller little mini plates, which aren't on these examples here. But you can color the strap. You can color the little snap things. Each different face comes with a special border you can pick, or you can put a different border on that behind that belt. But there's the creators boast of 800 billion combinations overall. In all honesty, you're probably only going to want to do some of the basic ones, because I mean some of the combinations on that example I showed are not pretty, and I've toyed around with some of the options, and I've noticed that if you stick with a certain template, it looks a lot better. But I've already created quite a few, and I'm just dinking around, and it's just a little fun thing to keep me occupied when I'm really bored, and that doesn't happen very often. But I've created a few. My profile picture on Facebook is currently one of those championship belts, and I'm a person who likes the design of championship belts, and that includes the wrestlings, that includes MMAs. That's the thing that got me into it actually was the boxing belts, and I've just been an aficionado, and I would like to own one someday. If I have to make my own, then I'll make my own, but I'd rather have an official one of some sort. I don't want to fight somebody to win one, because I've got too pointy of a nose to step in the ring to boxing.
That's your excuse?
Well, that's what I'm sticking to. So I recommend Wrestling Belt Creator, and it's currently free, and it does have in-app purchase options for packs, but from what I've seen of what's in these packs, all of those things are already in the free chunk of the app, so I'm not sure what the packs do at this point, but go out and get it. It's totally worth it. iPhone. Woo! Wrestling Belt Creator.
I was trying to find the belt that you created for me in my email, but I couldn't. But you designed me a pink one.
Maybe I can find it on my phone, but
yeah, I can't find the email. I don't know why.
I don't like the big explosion when I go into the... No. I want to look at it. Oh, you stupid thing.
Well, while you're looking for my belt there, I can. Oh, did you find it?
Yeah, I've got it. I can't find an easy way to make it. It's the top of the two belts. It's wow, you really can't.
Yeah,
You
you
can't
can't
see it
tell
here.
much,
Yeah,
but it's pink.
it's pink. It's got a girly looking faceplate to it, and I just made sure that she would. I thought she'd like it. So
Yep.
she's got her own championship belt now.
Yes, I do.
What app do you want to highlight this week?
Okay, well, my app, and I'm going to show it or try to show it on my iPad here. This is SpringPad, and it's let me see. I think I did bring up a screenshot of it here too. It's just that it's not going to look the same as on the phone, but SpringPad is a really great program that I actually discovered when I first got my Android phone, because I keep lists and notes and all kinds of things on my phone, and since I had to bring my Android phone in on a weekly basis to either get replaced or completely wiped back to factory settings, I would constantly lose my information. So I had to go out and find some sort of a program that I would be able to use on my phone to keep all my information in one spot that I could stick back on the phone. So, for example, I just created this notebook today, and this is for us to share the stories that we're going to talk about on our show.
Which has worked out very well, I must say.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad. Basically, I created this folder, and then you can go over here and you can invite users, and you can ask them to look at your same notebooks. So you can even add or delete or move around. Basically, you have full access to the notebook. What's really great about the program is that you can add all different types of media to it. So with the stories, for example, that we're looking at, I use the paste a link. But you can just create notes where you've just got something that looks like a sticky note that you type on. You can add all kinds of other things, recipes, you can add alarms, files, contacts, tasks. I like the checklist for shopping. That was another thing that we would use, that we would share. And so if we headed out to the grocery store, we could bring up the checklist on each of our phones and do the shopping separately and then meet up again. Oh boy, I forgot how to get back to the other screen already. Well, let's try that.
There you go.
So anyways, in here, yeah, I've got crochet patterns for hats, things that I've written down. Like I have in here, if I create my own pattern, this is the note example. You can even add pictures, like this is a police hat that I made, and so that I could create it a second time, I wrote down my pattern as well, and I have my picture attached to it. So yeah, SpringPad is great for me because I need to constantly create lists and notes and things, and I always have my phone with me, so it works perfectly to have all that on my phone. The other great thing is it all syncs to my computer, and I can look at it on any computer. You just log in on a browser.
That's fantastic.
I think I came back really yellow. I look like the color of the wall.
You look like a pumpkin right now, yeah.
I'm not sure why.
It's one of the. It's probably some fancy filter you've got going on there, or not. I don't know. Maybe the light's not in the right setting. Did you move the computer or something?
I did not.
Wow. I don't know what to tell you. You're just
All I did was go from screen share to back to my
you've got a serious case of jaundice going on. Is what you got.
screen share, non-screen share.
Yeah.
Yep, didn't
We're
help any.
we're all at the end here. It's not going to matter. It's just beautiful as the period.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, that's all we have for this week. And we will, of course, be back again next week. Are we going to continue to do these live?
Probably. I mean, we haven't. I seem to look for my articles on Wednesday while I'm at work, so
It's funny
usually
because I
means
look
that
for
we're
them
gonna.
right after work on Wednesdays. So we should just let's keep doing it live for the foreseeable future. When we go to Washington D.C., we can figure out something either temporarily broadcast or just take a couple weeks off and then release a whole bunch at once. But we'll worry about that then. But okay, so we're gonna try to do this between 7 and 8. I'm gonna try to start at about 7:30 ish, and we'll get solid. But if we keep you on your toes, maybe you'll kind of hang out on the channel and wait. Anyway, this is DJ saying thank you for joining us. You can find us on limeflavor.com. Period. There's a Google Plus page, which you should be if you're watching live, which nobody is and hasn't this entire time. Boo! That you can. This is the profile. The YouTube channel attached to it is the channel. And well, on a side note, I guess I should say that Google Plus changed their cover photo size, so now it's all different looking. If you didn't know that.
So does that mean you have to redo everything?
Well, it's readjusted the picture that I had up there already, but I've got a lot more pixels to work with, let's say.
Oh.
So I'll have to show you that in a little while. But thank you for joining me from the basement this time, so you can't hear me.
Yeah, it was a lot easier. Although wearing earbuds is not easy because these are very low quality.
Sorry, I apologize, but there was the
Well, that's
echo.
what happens when you get a 6-pack for $5.99.
Yeah. The echo was just terrible though, so we'll have you fully prepared next time.
Maybe we can find my ear pods from my iPhone 5.
It's possible. We should work on that. So say goodbye, Trish.
Goodbye.